Hello, my name is Brian Burnham, and this is Module 9 and Case Study for EDL 959. All right, I'm going to quickly go through this first part of what's going on and what Kim has done and her part of the process, and then we'll dive into kind of how I would handle the situation. All right, establishing the facts. Myself, Kim, has been an assistant principal at Triscuit Middle School for 5 years. I have a reputation of being a technology geek. Triscuit Middle School is a 7th and 8th grade building consisting of 650 students, 80 teachers. We're located in the Rockford School District, which is a large metropolitan area. It's an urban setting with 80% African American population, 17% white, 3% other. However, majority of our staff is Caucasian, and 65% of our students receive free and reduced lunch. We also have low percentage of parent participation with conferences and open house events at 25%. Kim is trying to develop a technology-rich curriculum. It's designed to teach digital literacy. Typically, she likes to work alone. She has a firm belief that this curriculum will promote the well-being, current, and future success of each student and adult at Triscuit Middle School. She's also aware that the biggest hurdle in this endeavor is going to be promoting the change in school and getting your staff to buy in with technology integration, since she hasn't had any success with it in the past. Teachers currently use lectures for presentation of materials. Information processing relies on paper and pencil type assessment tools. There are norm reference tests based on a Holt-McDougall textbook. The current assessment mapping schedule leaves little to no room for authentic assessment. I'm fearful that traditional assessments are going to be continued to be used, which limits the opportunities for data literacy curriculum to successfully be implemented. The evidence confirms that students' performance on state achievement testing is very low, especially in the areas of writing, essentially short answer writing and extended response essay prompts. A lot of students either don't attempt them or receive 0 scores on those sections. The analysis of this data led school personnel to believe that students are uncomfortable responding to these types of assessments. It's our job to figure out why they're uncomfortable and allow them to not be uncomfortable anymore. They should never be uncomfortable in any situation. I think there's more information to be found. We need to dive a little bit deeper into the data as well. I'd like to know how students with IEPs perform versus students without. Male versus female, things like that. Okay, she's trying to implement a major change by changing bell schedule from 7 periods to 4 periods in a block schedule. That's a big thing to do, and I think that makes it very difficult. Okay, examination of the decisions that she made. She did promote current and future success and well-being of students. She's trying to implement change. She recognizes that there's a problem, and she's trying to fix it. Teaching data literacy in today's educational setting is the correct way to implement wholesale curriculum changes, because if it's not digital, then you're almost doing a disservice to students. But I do think we need to dive deeper into the data like I talked about. Did she use formal and informal, culturally responsive and accessible assessments? She set herself up to be able to do that, but it hasn't happened yet. Digital curriculum allows students to have customized and personalized lessons, specifically for them. We can do it in certain languages. We can do it in certain culture, things like that. So there's potential there, but she hasn't done it yet. I don't believe there's any ethical violations. There's a lot of information here. Basically what I'm saying here is no legislation that's in place like IDEA or FERPA or Free Appropriate Public Education, Civil Rights Act, things like that. None of that stuff has been violated. I do think there's a perception problem potentially, which ethically speaking we need to fix, but there's no legal stuff at play right now. Synthesize the current scenario in one sentence. Kim is an assistant principal who wants to update the curriculum at her school by incorporating technology and allowing this new curriculum to teach digital literacy with high quality in equitable academic and non-academic instructional activities. However, she's struggling to get buy-in from the faculty and staff in trying something new that would benefit all parties. Hey, what facts are missing? Well, in the area of people, students appear to do poorly on short answer items as well as extended response essay prompts. Which students? Do we know specifically what subgroup? I think that's where some of that disaggregated data would help. Also, where's the principal in all of this? I'm an assistant principal as Kim. Where's the principal at? What's currently being worked on for the school improvement plan at Triscuit Middle School? Also, what's in place for our program in terms of technology? How much is available? How much do students have access to? Okay, prioritizing the information. Could the conflict or the situation be damaging to stakeholders? I don't think there's damage at stake per se, but like I said, I do think there's reputations at play, and we don't want anybody to think we don't know what we're doing at a school. So I do think we need to get this problem fixed quickly. What individuals and groups have an important stake? Well, obviously administration and faculty for the reason I just gave. And also students, they only get one shot at being educated, and it's our job to provide the best quality that we can. Have all stakeholders been consulted? No. Obviously, Kim's choosing to tackle this situation on her own, so that's a problem. Okay, Section 6, Plan of Action. I'm only going to focus on Option 3, Collaborative, but I'll go over 1, 2, and 4. Option 1 is a directive control. That's where basically the administrator or administration decides on everything. Teachers don't really have a whole lot of say. Option 2 is directive and informational. Administration lays out multiple options and the teachers get to choose. And then Option 4 is non-directive. Teachers pick the plan, implement new curriculum, which is obviously not a good idea. Option 3 is collaborative. The goal of it is to address and continue school improvement, maintain student success using a collaborative approach that promotes student success, teacher development, and a positive school culture. The administrative team and teachers will collaborate, discuss all data and facts, and select the best option together based on information given so that they can select the proper curriculum. Okay, my plan would be to address change and continue with school improvement. We want to make sure that those two things are cohesive and work together. Providing teachers collaborative opportunities to grow using PDs as part of the school improvement plan. That way we can implement what's the current problem into the school improvement plan and make sure that they're all working together. I also want to speak with other schools who have already successfully integrated culturally responsive and technology-rich curriculum into student learning. Let's learn from people who already know how to do it. Any PDs we provide need to integrate technology in the classroom and using research-based instructional practices. And then we need to conduct a parent survey to see how much internet connectivity is available. How many devices do kids have access to at home? Also, we need to figure out what's in place in our district. Are there Chromebooks one-to-one issued to students? Can they check stuff out of the library? Are they allowed to use their cell phones as personal devices? Things like that. Okay, I'm not going to go over every pro and con for every option. You can kind of read these, hit pause for me. But I will definitely go over Option 3. Here's Option 2. Option 3 is a collaborative approach. That's the one that I would pick. It involves a team of people, which increases the chances of success. It allows community stakeholders, for example, parents, to take a little bit of ownership in the process because of those surveys we would send out. It also allows relationships to be developed through working closely together and collaborating with faculty and staff, all learning from each other. And it benefits the school improvement plan because it allows continuity because we're rolling it all into one. It gives the staff ownership in the process. The main con, however, is that it's very time consuming. It can take 2 or 3 years to implement fully. And you still run the risk to get pushback from the faculty that are set in their ways. Option 4. Okay, I've chosen the best option in my opinion is Option 3. I've given some of those reasons already. It allows relationships to be built, staff autonomy, continued continuity between school improvement and student learning. addresses direct student needs and increases student well-being. It'll be based on data-driven decisions, allowing for digital literacy and culturally responsive lessons to be taught. Administrators will still be in a position to offer guidance and have authority, but also can help lead collaboration between the administrative team, curriculum selection committee, and any remaining faculty members. The reasoning I've chosen this, well, we want to maintain continuity as much as possible. It's important to maintain the understanding that the top priority in all decisions that were made at a school that I would lead is the students' and faculty's well-being. That's going to be our number one priority. Community and stakeholder views, parental concerns, and overall community involvement also must remain at the forefront of any decisions that are made. I just always want the community to feel valued and welcome. Okay, Section 9, Decision Implementation. Step 1, we're going to establish things that will not be compromised over. Culturally responsive curriculum using digitally rich apps and educational platforms, and research-based instructional practices will become the new norm. Those two things are non-negotiable. All collaboration will take place under these predetermined qualifications, which I think will allow, over time, buy-in to be a little bit better. Step 2, we're going to establish collaboration guidelines between administration, curriculum selection committee, and the remaining faculty. We want to all be on the same page, make sure we're all aware of our why in terms of why we are educators and what our purpose is. And we're going to make sure that our discussions are always data-driven. Step 3, we're going to use analysis and discussion of curriculum choices. We want to make sure that those choices are data-driven. We want to assess current curriculum first to give direction for the following discussions. We want to make sure we're including research-based strategies and instructional practices. Maintain any current practices that are proving to be effective. Not everything is probably broke at school. Let's make sure we keep the things that work. And focus really only on needs for writing right now, and at least on the beginning phases, because that is where the data shows that we are performing the poorest. And then step 4, determining what meaningful professional development needs to be used to fully and successfully implement new curriculum and practices. It must allow time. We must allow for time for teachers to attend, collaborate, give feedback, and ask questions. Step 5 would be the curriculum restructure. We're probably going to initially maintain the current Holt-McDougall textbook. This will allow change to occur immediately because we'll have the curriculum that we've been using in place, and we could start using some in-class activities supplemented with maybe some educational apps, specifically writing-based, to allow for technology integration to begin to occur, along with focusing on the data-determined problem area. Collaboration meetings and group discussions will continue as we move forward. We want to discuss rubrics and standards, develop those, and data-driven decisions will only be made. Nothing will be opinion-based. It's all going to be based on data. Process needs to probably occur in phases. Phase 1 is an in-class educational writing-based apps. These are first-order changes that can occur now. And then second-order changes would be phases 2 and 3, where we're actually going to implement the major change over a couple of years. They need to be applied consistently as part of a predetermined process where everyone involved knows what to expect day in and day out. That's how results are seen. What could happen? Well, either the change is going to occur and the implementation will be successful and we'll have something in place within 3 years, or staff will resist the process and we'll be right back to square one. All community members will need to be kept abreast of what's going on. I just think that's important. Communication is always important. Can I handle this on my own? There's no way that this can be handled all on our own. What happens if we fail? More support and direct assistance from the Board of Education, upper level administration would need to be involved. Then we're getting into legal and ethical problems like I discussed earlier. Here's a listing of our concluding statements, standard, relevance, and reflection. I appreciate your attention. Thank you.